Introduction. The lazy trader. Ever feel like you're trying way too hard and still losing money in trading? You wake up early, check 5 charts, jump into trades, watch every candle move, read the news, watch YouTube videos, and by the end of the day, you're stressed out, confused, and maybe even in the red again. Sound familiar? Yeah, I've been there too. Most traders think they need to do more to succeed. More screen time, more trades, more analysis. But here's the truth. No one tells you more doesn't mean better. In fact, it's usually the reason you're stuck. This book isn't about working harder. It's about working smarter. It's about trading in a way that feels calm, simple, and actually works without draining your energy or ruining your peace of mind. Welcome to the lazy trader, not the lazy that means careless, but the kind of lazy that means efficient, focused, and free. In this book, you'll learn how to trade less and make better decisions, why waiting is often your best trading strategy, how to build a trading system that fits your life, and how to stop trading emotionally and start trading like a pro. This book is for you if you're tired of overthinking every trade. You're done blowing up your account. You just want a simple way to win in the market without going crazy. Before you start, make sure to subscribe our
Chapter
channel to
1.
become 1%
The myth
better
of
every
hustle.
day. Why hard work doesn't work in trading, and what actually does. What if I told you that working harder is the very thing that's holding you back in trading? Sounds crazy, right? From childhood, most of us are told, hard work is the key to success. Study more, hustle harder, stay up later, and push beyond your limits. And in many areas of life, school, career, sports, that advice can work. But trading? It plays by a whole different set of rules. If you're approaching the market with a hustle mindset, chances are you're already losing. And I say this not to discourage you, but to open your eyes to a truth most traders ignore. In trading, hustle doesn't equal success. In fact, it usually leads to disaster. Let me paint the picture. You wake up, open your laptop, and immediately start scanning the market. No plan, no preparation, just vibes. You see a stock moving. FOMO kicks in. You chase it. You enter too early or too late. It drops. You panic. You add more to average down. It drops further. You close in a loss. Now you're frustrated. You jump into another trade to make it back. The cycle continues. That's not trading. That's emotional gambling. And yet this is the reality for thousands of new traders every single day. They're working harder than ever, watching the market all day, juggling 3-4 indicators, following 10 gurus on YouTube, glued to their phones, 16 hours a day, but they're still losing. Why? Because they're trading with a grind and hustle mentality in a game that rewards patience, clarity, and control. The market doesn't care how many hours you stare at a screen. It doesn't reward effort, it rewards precision. This is where the idea of the lazy trader begins. Lazy doesn't mean sloppy. It means intentional. It means doing less, but doing it right. It means removing noise, distractions, and emotional chaos, and building a system that works for you, not one that burns you out. Let's go deeper. Think about any professional trader you've seen who's consistently profitable. Are they frantically entering trades every 15 minutes? Are they chasing every market move? No. In fact, many of them take only 1 or 2 quality trades a week. Some don't trade at all on certain days. They're calm, patient, detached. They have nothing to prove to the market, and that's why they win. This mindset is hard for most new traders to adopt because it feels like you're not doing enough. We're addicted to the feeling of being busy. We think if we're constantly doing something, we're progressing. But in trading, activity often leads to overtrading. And overtrading leads to losses, burnout, and emotional damage. The truth is, most of the time, the best trade is no trade. It's a tough pill to swallow. But here's where things start to shift. When you begin to understand that trading is not about action, it's about intention, you take your power back. Let me share a personal story. Years ago, I mentored a trader named Alex. He was smart, hardworking, and determined to become successful. He read books, watched videos, tracked dozens of stocks, and made multiple trades every day. But month after month, his account was shrinking. When we sat down to review his journal, the issue was obvious. He was chasing setups that weren't there. He was trying to force results through effort. His trades weren't based on solid rules or edge. They were based on emotions, impulses, and noise. So I gave him one simple challenge. Only trade when you have 3 solid confirmations. No guesswork, no gut feelings. If the setup isn't perfect, skip it. At first, he hated it. He felt like he wasn't doing enough. He was bored. But after 2 weeks, his win rate went up. His stress went down. And more importantly, he stopped overtrading. 1 month later, he messaged me. I've made more in the last 3 weeks, trading just 4 times than I did trading 50 times last month. That's the lazy trader mindset in action. Let me ask you something. What's your goal with trading? Is it to be busy or is it to be profitable? If your goal is profits, then you need to let go of this idea that hustle equals success. In trading, it doesn't. All hustle does is cloud your mind, drain your energy, and cause you to chase losses. Now you might be thinking, but if I'm not watching the market all day, I'll miss opportunities. That's another myth. The market is full of opportunities, but only a few are meant for you. The rest are distractions. You don't need to catch every wave to surf successfully. You just need to wait for your wave and ride it with confidence. And here's the beautiful part. When you stop hustling, you start seeing more. Your mind slows down. You begin to notice patterns. You're no longer reacting. You're planning. You're not forcing trades. You're waiting for them. The lazy trader is a sniper, not a machine gunner. You don't spray and pray. You wait. You breathe. You fire when the shot is clear. This doesn't just help your profits. It helps your life. Too many traders sacrifice their peace, sleep, and relationships in the name of hustling. But what's the point of making money if you're burned out, angry, or disconnected from the people you love? Trading should give you freedom, not take it away. So, if you've been stuck in the hustle trap, this is your chance to reset. You don't need more trades. You don't need more indicators. You don't need more YouTube gurus yelling at you. You need clarity, simplicity, and control. You need to become a lazy trader. This is where it starts. In the next chapters, I'll show you how to build a system that works with your schedule and style. I'll show you how to control your emotions, protect your capital, and grow your account without selling your soul to the charts. But for now, I want you to sit with this idea. Success in trading doesn't come from trying harder. It comes from thinking smarter. Let that sink in. Because the faster you let go of the hustle myth, the sooner you'll find real consistency, not just in your trading, but in your mind. This is your edge. Most traders will ignore this. They'll keep grinding, guessing, and blowing up accounts. But not you. You're here. You're ready to trade differently. And you're about to discover that being lazy might just be the smartest thing you've ever done. Welcome to a new way of trading. Welcome to peace. Welcome to profit. Welcome to the less, win more. The power of doing nothing. On purpose. Let's start with a simple truth that most traders ignore. You don't need to trade every day to make money. In fact, the traders who consistently grow their accounts aren't the ones who trade the most. They're the ones who wait the most. And yes, I know how strange that sounds in a world that glorifies hustle, alerts, and being in the market all day. But ask any professional trader and they'll tell you the same thing. Less is more. Most new traders believe more trades works, more opportunities charts more profits. But in reality, more trades usually saw more mistakes, more stress, and more losses. It's like shooting arrows blindfolded. You might hit the target once in a while, but most of the time you're just wasting arrows. The truth is, trading isn't about how often you enter the market. It's about how well you do when you do enter. Let's take an example. Imagine two traders. Trader A takes 30 trades a week, chasing every candle pattern and reacting to every market move. Trader B takes 3 to 5 trades a week, only when their setup is perfect, when the market conditions match their strategy, and when their mind is calm and focused. Who do you think is more likely to be consistent? Trader A is burned out, emotionally, drained, and always second-guessing their decisions. Trader B, focused, calm, and selective. That's what we call strategic inactivity, the art of doing nothing until it's exactly the right time to act. And it's one of the most powerful weapons a lazy trader has. But let's talk about why this is so hard for most people. We live in a culture that's addicted to action. Doing nothing feels wrong. If we're not constantly clicking buttons or analyzing charts, we feel like we're falling behind. The silence becomes uncomfortable. The waiting feels like weakness. But that's just noise from the outside world. In trading, waiting is a skill. Patience is power. Think about the best athletes, soldiers, or snipers. They don't fire constantly. They study. They plan. They wait. Then, when the moment is right, they strike with precision. The market rewards that same kind of discipline. The problem is, most traders don't know what they're waiting for. They sit at their computers all day thinking, maybe this is a setup. Maybe this is a signal. Maybe I should jump in just in case. That's not trading. That's hoping. If you're hoping, you're already in trouble. One of the biggest shifts you can make in your trading journey is this: stop hoping. Start planning. The lazy trader doesn't guess. The lazy trader builds clear rules. Rules that say, I only trade when A, B, and C line up. If not, I walk away. It's that simple and that hard. Simple because the system can be designed in black and white. You don't trade based on your mood. You trade based on clear conditions. Hard because it takes real discipline to stick to those rules, especially when the market looks exciting. Let me tell you a story. I once coached a trader named Jenna. She was talented and knew her stuff, but she struggled with overtrading. She'd sit in front of her screen for 6 to 8 hours a day, jumping in and out of positions, burning through her capital, and constantly feeling exhausted. We worked on just one change. She could only trade if her setup appeared twice in the first 3 hours of the market. If not, she had to walk away. The first week, she hated it. She felt lazy. She felt like she was missing out. But then something interesting happened. She started sleeping better. Her anxiety dropped. Her trades became more thoughtful. And her profits, they started growing, slowly but surely. 1 month later, she told me, it's weird. I'm trading way less, but I'm winning more, and I actually enjoy it now. That's the magic of trading less. The more you trade, the more you expose yourself to risk. The more decisions you make, the more chances you have to mess up. But when you reduce your trades to only the best setups, you're stacking the odds in your favor. You're also saving your mental capital, and that's a term most traders don't talk about enough. Mental capital is your emotional energy, the part of your brain that helps you make smart decisions. When you overtrade, you burn through it. You become more emotional. You get tired. You start forcing trades just to feel in control again. But when you limit your trades, you protect that energy. You stay calm. You're not chasing. You're choosing. Big difference. Now, I'm not saying you should only trade once a month. Every trader is different. But I am saying find your rhythm and build your rules around it. For some, it's one quality trade a day. For others, it's 2 to 3 trades a week. The number doesn't matter. The quality does. Here's something else to consider. Every trade you take comes with a cost, even if you win. That cost is your time, attention, energy, and emotional bandwidth. If you take 20 trades a week, that's 20 decisions, 20 emotional reactions. 20 times your brain goes into fight or flight mode. That kind of stress adds up, and over time, it kills your consistency. But if you trade less, you conserve that energy. You focus it on the few moments that actually matter. You're not tired, scattered, or desperate. You're sharp, clean, in control. And that's when trading becomes enjoyable. That's when you start to feel like a professional, not just someone reacting to candles all day. One of the best pieces of advice I ever got was this: your job is not to trade. Your job is to wait for your setup. Let that sink in. If your job was to trade every day, then yeah, you'd be staring at screens nonstop. But if your real job is to wait, plan, and protect your capital, then doing nothing most of the time is actually part of the process. And guess what? That's what the best traders do. They don't rush. They don't force. They don't trade out of boredom. They wait. They sit. They read the market like a patient observer. And then, when the setup shows up, they act. That's the lazy trader mindset. Do less. Do it better. Let the market come to you. It's not always easy. There will be days when you feel like you're missing out. There will be moments when other traders are bragging about catching moves that you skipped. But long term, you'll win. Because while they're burning out, you're building a solid foundation. While they're gambling, you're protecting your capital. And while they're stuck in the cycle of boom and bust, you're growing, slowly, surely, and with peace of mind. Trading less is not about being lazy. It's about being smart. It's about understanding that in the market, time and patience are your real edge, not action. It's about learning how to sit with silence, how to trust your system, how to know the difference between a trade and a trap. Most people won't do this. They'll keep chasing the next big breakout, staring at charts all day, and wondering why they're not getting ahead. But you're different. You're learning the truth early. You're taking control of your trading life before the chaos takes control of you. And if you stick with this approach, if you trust it, apply it, and build your system around it, you'll be amazed at how everything changes. Your profits will go up. Your stress will go down. Your confidence will grow. You'll stop feeling desperate. You'll stop feeling behind. You'll trade from a place of calm, not chaos. That's the lazy trader way. And it starts with this one simple mindset. Do less. Win more. You don't have to do everything. You just have to do the right things at the right time. So take a breath. Step back. Stop chasing every candle and start trading like a lazy trader. Because in this game, the one who waits, the setup is the edge. Why your edge lives in your preparation, not your prediction. Be honest with me for a second. How many times have you looked at a chart, felt something in your gut, and clicked buy or sell, thinking, this looks like it's going to move? And then, nothing. Or worse, it moves the other way. Welcome to the painful truth. Most traders don't have a real edge. They're just making predictions and hoping they're right. But hope isn't a strategy. Guesswork isn't a system. And randomness overs. Time is just expensive gambling. This chapter is your turning point, because here's what professional traders know that most people don't. You don't make money from predicting the market. You make money from preparing for it. That preparation, that's your setup. The lazy trader doesn't chase action. The lazy trader waits for the right conditions, the right moment, the right setup. That's the difference between trading like a gambler and trading like a sniper. Let me explain. Imagine two people walking into a casino. One sits down at the slot machine, pushing buttons randomly, hoping to hit the jackpot. The other walks into a poker table, studies the other players, waits for the right hand, and only bets when the odds are stacked in his favor. Which one has an edge? It's obvious. The poker player. Because he's not gambling, he's playing, with information, discipline, and strategy. That's exactly how trading works. Your setup is your hand. Your rules are your edge. And if you play every setup the same way, with the same patience and precision, you remove luck from the equation and stack the probabilities in your favor. But here's the catch. Most traders never define their setup. They trade based on vibes. Maybe they see a big green candle and think, that must mean it's going up. Or they hear a YouTuber say, this stock is going to explode. So they jump in. No plan, no preparation, no edge. And it usually ends the same way. Loss, confusion, and frustration. That's where journaling, backtesting, and system building come in. Let's break this down in a way that's easy to understand. A setup is simply a repeatable condition that tells you when to enter a trade. Think of it like this. If this happens, plus, that happens plus, this aligns. Take the trade. If not, walk away. The more specific and rule-based your setup is, the more confident you'll feel. No second guessing, no panic, just execution. But how do you build a setup? That's where preparation becomes your superpower. The first step is observation. Go back to the charts, not to predict the future, but to study the past. Look for patterns. Look for trades that worked and ask, what was happening before that move? What indicators or price actions lined up? What time of day was it? Was volume increasing? Was there news? The second step is journaling. Write everything down. Not just the entry and exit price, but the why behind the trade, the setup, the risk, the confidence level, the emotional state you were in when you placed the trade. Your trading journal is like a mirror. It doesn't lie. It reveals your habits, your mistakes, and your edge. I once worked with a trader named Rob. For months he was breaking even, winning some trades, losing others, but had no idea why. When I asked him about his edge, he said, I just go by feel. We changed one thing. He had to journal every trade in detail. Within 2 weeks, we discovered something powerful. Almost all of Rob's profitable trades shared the same pattern, a strong pullback to a moving average with decreasing volume on the retrace and a bullish engulfing candle as confirmation. He didn't realize it at first, but he had a winning setup. It was just buried under all the noise, all the bad trades, all the emotional guesses. Once we defined that setup and he committed to trading only that pattern, things changed. He started winning more consistently. He stopped overtrading. His confidence grew. Why? Because now he had an edge. He wasn't just predicting anymore. He was executing a plan. This is what most traders miss. They think trading is about constantly analyzing the market, following every move and reacting in real time. But the lazy trader flips that thinking. You don't need to predict what the market will do. You just need to prepare for what you'll do if it happens. Read that again. That one shift can change everything. Backtesting is another weapon in your preparation toolbox. It's the process of going back through months or even years of historical data to see how your setup would have performed. You're not just guessing, you're gathering data. If your setup worked 68% of the time across 200 plus trades in different market conditions, now you're no longer hoping. It's backed by evidence. This gives you statistical confidence, not emotional confidence. Most people lack this, and that's why they panic when a trade goes red. But when you've seen your setup work again and again, you don't flinch. You trust the process. Think about it like this. If you were flipping a coin and you knew it landed on heads 65% of the time, would you worry every time it landed tails once? Of course not, because you know over time, heads wins. That's what a setup gives you. An edge over time. A game you can win. It also removes something that ruins most traders: overthinking. When you don't have a setup, your brain tries to make decisions based on emotion. You might second-guess a good entry, or you might jump into a bad trade just because the market looks exciting. Either way, you're playing a dangerous game. But with a setup, you trade like a robot. See the signal, take the trade. No drama, no panic, just rules. And here's the beautiful part. Your setup doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't need 15 indicators or a fancy algorithm. In fact, the best setups are often the simplest. It could be a clean breakout after consolidation, or a trend continuation after a pullback, or a reversal signal at a key support level. What matters isn't how flashy it looks. It's how consistent it is. You want something that repeats, something that makes sense, something that fits your style. And, this is key, your setup should fit you. Some people love scalping fast moves. Others prefer swing trading over days. Some like trading news. Others hate it. There's no one-size-fits-all setup. That's why journaling and backtesting are so important. They help you discover your edge, not someone else's. So the next time you're tempted to follow a random call-out or copy a strategy from a stranger on Twitter, pause and ask, does this align with my setup? If not, skip it. You don't need 100 trades to be profitable. You just need one setup that works, and the discipline to wait for it. This is what separates the lazy trader from the average trader. The average trader is always reacting, always chasing, always guessing. The lazy trader is always preparing, always refining, always waiting. And preparation builds confidence. Confidence builds consistency, and consistency builds results. Let's be real. The market is unpredictable. No one knows what it will do next. But you can control how you respond. You can control what setups you trade. You can control your risk. That's your edge. Your setup is your defense against emotional trading. It's your plan when the market goes crazy. It's your rulebook when your brain wants to gamble. It's your edge. So take the time to define it, study it, refine it, master it. Because once you do, everything changes. You stop feeling lost. You stop needing confirmation from other people. You stop feeling like you're guessing every time you hit buy. Instead, you feel calm, prepared, in control. And in a world full of noise, that kind of clarity is rare and powerful. So here's your homework if you're ready to take this seriously. Start building your setup. Go back through your winning trades. Look for common patterns. Define what must be true before you enter a trade. Then journal it. Test it. Commit to it. Treat it like a playbook. Treat it like a business. Because when your setup becomes second nature, you free yourself from doubt. You don't need to trade more. You just need to trade smarter. And smarter starts with a setup. So remember this, the setup is the edge. Preparation beats prediction. and the lazy trader always comes prepared. Chapter 4. Welcome to Kill the Noise. Escape information overload and trust your plan. Let me ask you something simple. Have you ever opened your laptop to trade and been overwhelmed within minutes? Your chart is open. Twitter is buzzing. Discord has 100 unread messages. CNBC is flashing red alerts. Your favorite YouTuber just dropped a must-watch before market opens video. You've got 13 indicators on your screen, all pointing in different directions, and you're just sitting there thinking, what the hell do I do now? Welcome to the chaos. This is what we call trading noise. The mental clutter, the constant opinions, the fire hose of information that promises clarity but delivers confusion. And here's the harsh truth. The more noise you consume, the worse your decisions become. Most traders don't lose because they don't know enough. They lose because they know too much. At least they think they do. They drown in analysis. They get stuck in decision paralysis. And worst of all, they start second-guessing their system, their strategy, and themselves. This is where the lazy trader is different. The lazy trader understands that more information doesn't equal better trading. In fact, too much information is a liability. It creates doubt, hesitation, overreaction. It makes you emotional. So what do we do instead? We kill the noise. We simplify. We trust the process. Think about this. The best traders in the world are not sitting in front of 6 monitors watching 25 charts at once. They're not toggling between Reddit, Twitter, YouTube, and 5 Discord groups for signals. They have one screen, one chart, one system, and most importantly, they have peace of mind. Because here's what they know. Trading success doesn't come from more inputs. It comes from more clarity. Let me take you back to my early trading days. Like most beginners, I thought more was better. I subscribed to 5 news alerts, followed every guru on Twitter, and had so many indicators on my screen I couldn't even see the price action anymore. I was always reacting. One alert would make me bullish. A tweet 5 seconds later would make me bearish. My head was spinning. I wasn't trading. I was just chasing noise. I'll never forget one specific morning. There was this hot stock everyone was talking about. My Discord group was screaming, "Buy the dip." Twitter was saying, "Short this, junk." My chart had RSI, MACD, Bollinger Bands, and volume divergence, all giving mixed signals. I froze. I didn't know what to believe. I didn't take the trade. And then I beat myself up all day for missing a big move. But the real issue wasn't missing the trade. It was my mental state. I was exhausted before I even clicked a button. That's when I decided to unplug. I shut off every alert. I unfollowed 90% of the people I was getting trading advice from. I cleaned up my charts, removed every indicator I didn't deeply understand, and I decided from now on I only trade my setup. No matter what Twitter says, no matter what the experts say, the result: my trading improved, my stress disappeared, and for the first time I felt like I was in control. You see, noise isn't just about distractions. Noise is a confidence killer. When you let every outside opinion into your mind, you give away your power. You start thinking other people know more than you. You stop trusting yourself. And that's dangerous, because trading isn't about being right every time. It's about following your process with discipline. And you can't do that if you're being pulled in 5 directions every second. So let's talk about how to kill the noise and become a confident, clear, and calm trader. First, simplify your sources. Pick one source of news if you absolutely need it. Just one, not 5. And honestly, most of the time, you don't need the news at all. By the time the headline hits your screen, the market already moved. If your setup doesn't rely on news, skip it. Next, clean your chart. If you need more than two indicators to make a decision, your system is too complicated. A clean chart with price action, support and resistance, and maybe one or two tools you understand deeply is enough. If you can't explain what every indicator on your chart does and why you use it, it doesn't belong there. Third, unfollow noisemakers. Yes, I'm talking about the Twitter gurus, the TikTok traders with Lamborghini videos, and the endless stream of top 3 stocks to buy today YouTube thumbnails. You know what they're selling: attention, not accuracy. Their job is to keep you watching, not to help you win. If someone's content creates more anxiety than clarity, hit unfollow. Now here's where it gets deeper. Noise doesn't just come from screens, it comes from within. Every time you question your system mid-trade, that's noise. Every time you check your P&L 5 times during a trade, that's noise. Every time you compare your results to someone else's, that's noise. The lazy trader doesn't just simplify the outside world, they simplify their inner world too. And one of the best ways to do that is to create a trading routine, a rhythm, a process that eliminates thinking and replaces it with structure. Here's an example. Wake up, review the charts, mark your key levels, identify your setup, make your plan, then step away. No random trades, no midday FOMO, no revenge trading. Just follow the plan. That's it. When you trade this way, the noise disappears, the second-guessing fades, the fear calms down, and you finally start to feel in control of your decisions. Let me give you a relatable metaphor. Imagine a chef in a busy kitchen. There are dozens of ingredients, multiple dishes, and a lot of pressure. But the chef doesn't panic. Why? Because there's a recipe, a system. Every step is mapped out. The chef doesn't cook based on what's trending on Twitter. They follow the process. That's how trading should feel. You are the chef. The market is your kitchen, and your setup is the recipe. The moment you stop following it and start letting noise dictate your choices is the moment the whole dish burns. Now, some people say, "But I don't want to miss out on opportunities." Here's what I tell them. You're not missing opportunities. You're missing clarity. Every time you trade something outside your system, just because it looks hot, you're making a withdrawal from your emotional capital. And those withdrawals add up. That's how you end up burnt out, bitter, and broke. The lazy trader understands this. They trade fewer setups, but they execute them with laser precision. No stress, no chasing, just clean decisions. One of my students, Jamie, struggled with this. He was always in 5 trades at once, always switching systems. One week he was trading breakouts, next week reversals, next week options. He was addicted to noise. I challenged him to do one thing: pick one setup, just one, and trade only that for 30 days. No matter what else was happening, it wasn't easy. He felt FOMO. He wanted to chase other plays. But he stayed disciplined, and guess what? His results improved. He made fewer trades, but more consistent wins. He slept better. He stopped checking his phone every 5 minutes. He stopped caring about what other people were trading. Because now he had clarity. That's the power of killing the noise. It gives you your brain back, so if you're feeling overwhelmed, scattered, or confused, don't look for more information. Look to remove it. The greatest traders don't know the most. They do the least, with the most precision. That's the secret. It's not sexy. It's not dramatic. But it works. So here's your call to action. Audit your trading life. Look at your screens, your feeds, your sources, your strategies, and ask, is this helping me think clearer or making me doubt more? Then start deleting, unfollow, Unsubscribe. Clean up your chart. Delete the indicators you don't need. Block the voices that don't align with your system. Reclaim your focus. Because in trading, your edge isn't just in your setup. It's in your ability to stay calm while others panic, to stay focused while others chase, to trust your plan while others scroll endlessly. That's the lazy trader's advantage. You don't win by doing more. You win by doing less, better. So kill the noise. Trade with clarity. And finally, start winning on your own terms. The 2-hour trading day. How to make your trading feel effortless and efficient. Let me ask you something real quick. Have you ever sat in front of your trading screen for 6 hours, watched 100 setups come and go, entered 3 of them, got stopped out twice, barely made a profit on one, and still felt like you got hit by a truck at the end of the day? Welcome to the trap 90% of traders fall into: overtrading and overanalyzing in the name of hustle. But here's a truth bomb. You don't get paid in trading for the hours you sit. You get paid for the quality of the decisions you make. Let that sink in. This chapter is not just about managing your time. It's about reclaiming your energy, your focus, and your life. Because here's the dirty secret no one talks about in the trading world. You don't need to be glued to your screen all day to be profitable. The lazy trader knows this. The lazy trader doesn't chase markets all day. They don't stare at candles forming second by second, praying for an entry. They've designed their trading around life, not the other way around. And the magic formula? A 2-hour trading day. That's it. 2 focused, intentional, high-quality hours. Not a minute more. When you hear this, you might think, only 2 hours? Is that even realistic? Not only is it realistic, it's optimal. You see, the longer you sit in front of the screen, the more likely you are to overtrade, get emotional, and break your rules. Trading is mentally exhausting, even if you're just watching. And fatigue leads to impulsiveness, that one quick scalp you take outside your plan. It usually happens in hour 5 of your Watch Everything marathon. Let's break this down and make it personal. Think of your brain like a battery. When you wake up, it's full, sharp, ready to execute. But the more noise, distractions, and decisions you expose it to, the faster it drains. The lazy trader protects that battery. They use their best hours, usually early in the morning, or a consistent window they know works, to do all their work. They get in, get out, and go live life. So how do you build your own 2-hour trading day? First, let's talk about structure. Every successful 2-hour trading routine has 3 simple parts: preparation, execution, and shutdown. That's it. These 3 steps give you everything you need to win and protect your mind from the chaos that burns most traders out. Let's start with preparation. This is your pre-market warm-up. Just like athletes don't jump into the game cold, traders shouldn't jump into the market without a plan. The lazy trader uses this first 30-45 minutes to review their watch list, identify key levels, mark support and resistance, and mentally prepare for what might happen, but without predicting. They don't browse Twitter or Reddit. They don't get caught up in hype. They focus on their setup, and only their setup. Next comes execution. This is your active trading window, typically 60-90 minutes. For most traders, this is during the first 1-2 hours of the market open, when volume and volatility are highest. The lazy trader already knows what they're looking for. If the setup comes, they take it. If it doesn't, they walk away. There's no FOMO here. No, maybe this is a good trade. It's either a clear setup or a hard pass. And finally, shutdown. This is the most underrated step. Most traders stay in front of the screen long after their edge is gone. They think they're being productive, but they're really just increasing the odds of doing something dumb. The lazy trader doesn't do that. They use the final 10-15 minutes of their 2-hour block to log their trades, reflect on their performance, and close their platform. That's it. Day's done. And guess what? That's where the magic happens. Because while everyone else is stuck to their chair, drained and anxious, the lazy trader is out living life, going for a walk, spending time with family, reading, working, on their side hustle, recharging. But let's address the elephant in the room. What if you work a 9-to-5 job? Perfect. You're exactly who this chapter was written for. The 2-hour trading day was designed with people like you in mind. People who want to trade, build wealth, and master their finances without quitting their job. All you need is a fixed window. That could be 8:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. EST before work starts. Or maybe it's 7:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. for swing trading or crypto. The actual time doesn't matter as much as the consistency of showing up. You don't need to catch every opportunity in the market. You just need to catch the ones that match your strategy during your window. Some of the most profitable traders I've coached are part-time. Why? Because they're not overexposed. They trade less, but better. They don't have time to second-guess everything. They trust the system. Take the trade. Close the screen. Done. Let me tell you a story. One of my clients, Lisa, was a full-time nurse. Her shifts were intense, 12 hours a day, on her feet, dealing with emergencies. But she loved the markets. She thought trading could be her way to financial freedom. At first, she was all over the place, trying to squeeze in trades during breaks. Checking her phone at every red light, dangerous, by the way, and staying up late watching chart breakdowns. She was exhausted and barely breaking even. We simplified everything. We built a 2-hour evening trading routine for her around swing setups. She only traded 3 days a week, just 1 or 2 setups max per day. She used alerts, no chart staring, no Discord hopping. And you know what happened? In 6 months, she doubled her account and finally felt peace. She wasn't chasing, she was flowing. The 2-hour trading day gave her structure, sanity, and results. This system works, not because it's magic, but because it respects the most valuable resource you have, your mental energy. The goal of this chapter is not just to cut your screen time, it's to increase your clarity to action ratio. The higher that ratio, the more confident you become. You're no longer scattered, desperate, or reactive. You become intentional, strategic, lazy, but in the smartest way possible. You know what most full-time traders don't tell you. They're miserable. They're always watching, always stressed, always scared to miss a move. They've built a life where they can't look away, not even for a weekend. But the lazy trader? The lazy trader builds a system that runs without them having to babysit it. They don't just trade for money. They trade for time, freedom, and peace. Because at the end of the day, it's not about maximizing trades. It's about maximizing life. Ask yourself right now, what if you only traded for 2 hours a day? What if you spent the rest of your time on things that make you better, calmer, and more creative? What if trading felt like a part of your life, not your entire identity? That's the goal. The market doesn't care how long you sit there. It cares how clearly you think. And the truth is, your clearest thinking usually happens early in the day, before the noise sets in. So here's your challenge. For the next 7 days, build your 2-hour trading day. Pick a consistent time. Create a pre-market checklist. Limit yourself to that window. Then shut it down. Log your results. Reflect. Walk away. You'll be shocked at how much better your performance becomes. You'll stop chasing. You'll stop second-guessing. And you'll start feeling like a real professional, not a gambler with a screen addiction. The lazy trader isn't lazy because they don't care. They're lazy because they're smart. They protect their energy. They trade their edge. They leave when their job is done. 2 hours. That's all you need. The rest of the day. Emotional automation. How lazy traders protect themselves from their own mind. Have you ever been in a trade that was going south, and even though you knew you should cut your losses, you just didn't? Maybe you said, let's just give it a little more room. Maybe you moved your stop loss. Maybe you removed your stop loss. And before you knew it, what could have been a small $50 loss became a $500 meltdown and a whole weekend of stress. If that sounds familiar, don't worry. You're not broken. You're human. Every trader has been there. This chapter is about why we do that and how lazy traders build emotional automation systems to make sure it doesn't happen again. Let's get real for a second. Your biggest trading losses are rarely because of the market. They're because of your reactions to the market. The chart didn't hurt you. Your decisions did. And 90% of bad decisions come from one source: emotion, fear, greed, regret, FOMO, impatience, hope. These emotions are sneaky. They whisper. They justify. They convince you that this time is different. And in the heat of the moment, they override logic. You make impulsive choices that go completely against your trading plan. This is where the lazy trader stands out, because the lazy trader doesn't try to fight emotions in real time. They automate their responses ahead of time. They build systems that remove the need for emotional decision-making during live trades. Why? Because they know the truth. You cannot out-discipline emotion. You can only out-system it. Let's say that again. It's critical. You cannot out-discipline emotion. You can only out-system it. This is emotional automation in a nutshell. It's the art of pre-building decisions before you're in an emotional state, so that when the chaos hits, you don't have to think. You just follow the system. This chapter will show you exactly how to do that. We'll explore the psychology behind emotional mistakes and then break down simple tools lazy traders use to keep their minds clean and decisions sharp, even in the middle of market storms. Let's start with the root issue: the emotional brain. You see, your brain is actually two systems. System 1 is fast, emotional, instinctive. It reacts immediately, perfect for survival. System 2 is slower, more logical, analytical. It takes effort to engage. That's the part that writes your trading plan, does your backtesting, and understands risk management. But when money is on the line, especially your own, System 1 takes over. It doesn't care about your rules. It just wants to protect you from loss or chase gains to feel good again. That's why you revenge trade. That's why you hold on to losers. That's why you break your rules and tell yourself, I'll be more disciplined tomorrow. Here's the thing. Discipline is a muscle, and like any muscle, it gets tired. If you rely on willpower alone, you'll eventually crack. The lazy trader knows this. That's why they don't try to be strong during stress. They remove the stress ahead of time by building guardrails. Let's talk about those guardrails now. First up, automated stop losses. This is non-negotiable. You should never enter a trade without a stop loss already placed. Not in your head, not as a mental note, actually placed in the platform before the trade goes live. Why? Because in the moment, when the chart turns red, your brain will scream, it's just a pullback. But your pre-planned stop loss doesn't listen. It's already programmed. It executes when needed. No emotion involved. This one habit alone has saved traders millions in avoidable losses. Next, fixed position sizing. One of the biggest emotional triggers in trading is over-leverage. When you risk too much, every tick against you feels like a punch in the gut. You can't think straight. You panic. The lazy trader avoids this entirely by using the same risk percentage on every trade. For example, 1% of account balance. Always. No exceptions. That means whether your account is $1,000 or $100,000, the emotional impact of a loss is always manageable. You're never freaking out over a single trade. You're thinking in terms of series, not one shot. Now let's talk about decision simplicity. Most traders lose, not because they don't know what to do, but because they try to make too many decisions on the fly. The lazy trader removes this by creating if this then that rules. For example, if the trade hits this level, I exit. If I take 2 losses in a row, I stop for the day. If the market opens below my key zone, I don't trade. These rules are like an emotional firewall. They protect you from yourself. And here's the kicker, you must follow them even when you don't feel like it. Especially when you don't feel like it. Because the market rewards consistency, not emotion. Let me share a real example. Jake was a swing trader I coached a few years ago. He had a solid strategy, great entries, proper risk management. But every time a trade went slightly against him, he'd panic and close early. Or worse, he'd widen the stop to give it room. His win rate suffered. He kept beating himself up after trades, saying, I knew what to do. Why didn't I just stick to the plan? Sound familiar? We rebuilt his routine around emotional automation. We created strict stop-loss rules. We set up a trading checklist he had to complete before any trade. We introduced a journaling habit to track emotions, not just results. Within 3 months, he had his average loss by 40%, his win rate went up by 18%, and most importantly, he felt peaceful. He wasn't battling his mind all day. He had rules. The rules worked, but emotional automation isn't just about risk management. It's about mindset recovery too. The lazy trader knows that how you think after a loss is just as important as how you manage during a trade. That's why they build reset rituals. After a tough trade, they don't jump back in to make it back. They walk, breathe, journal, reframe. They say, I followed my rules. That's a win, even if it was a loss. That shift is massive, because the moment you start measuring success by rule, following instead of just money, you gain emotional control. And once you have that, you become dangerous, in a good way. You stop chasing. You stop doubting. You start thinking like a pro. Let's zoom out for a second. What is trading really? It's not about indicators. It's not about signals or news. It's about decision-making under uncertainty. And the better your decisions, the better your outcomes. But decisions don't happen in a vacuum. They happen inside your brain. And that brain is constantly being hijacked by emotion, unless you protect it. So here's the lazy trader's mindset. I do not trust my live trading emotions. I trust my plan. I trust my system. I trust my automation. This mindset doesn't make you robotic. It makes you free. Because when the rules are clear and preset, you don't waste energy doubting or overthinking. You just execute. Then you go. Live your life. And that, my friend, is the real secret. Trading is not just about winning. It's about lasting. The traders who burn out aren't the ones who lack skill. They're the ones who constantly run on emotional overload. You don't want that. You want to build something sustainable, something calm, something that fits into your life instead of controlling it. And emotional automation is the foundation of that. So if you've been struggling with discipline, stop trying to be stronger. Start building smarter systems. Set your stops. Fix your risk. Write your rules. Follow your plan, even when it feels wrong in the moment. Because real trading success isn't flashy. It's boring, repetitive, consistent. And for the lazy trader, that's exactly what we want. No drama, no mental roller coasters. Just clean, execution, and peace of mind. Because we're not here to chase dopamine. We're here to build freedom. And freedom starts with mastering the one thing most traders
Chapter
ignore.
7.
Small,
Your own
consistent, boring profits. Why boring trading is the smartest kind. Let me ask you something. When you think of a successful trader, what comes to mind? Is it someone who flips a $500 account into $20,000 in 1 week? Is it someone who posts crazy profits on social media with screenshots of 500% gains? Or is it someone quietly making 1%, 2% per week, month after month, without drama? If you're like most new traders, you're probably drawn to the first image. It's exciting. It feels powerful, fast, impressive. But here's the truth that almost no one wants to hear. That jackpot style of trading is a lie. It's not sustainable. It's not consistent. It's not the way professionals trade. It's the equivalent of gambling. And the faster you try to get rich from trading, the faster you'll go broke. This chapter is about flipping that mindset upside down and showing you why boring, slow, consistent profits are not only smarter, they're what real wealth is built on. Lazy traders know this. They're not trying to win the lottery. They're trying to build a machine that generates quiet, steady income over time. They don't need fireworks. They need results. So, let's talk about what boring profits really look like and why they're the hidden superpower of every successful trader. Imagine this. You have a strategy that wins 60% of the time, and you only risk 1% of your account on each trade. Over a year, you take 200 trades. Some are wins, some are losses. Nothing dramatic, no massive home runs. But after 12 months of doing this consistently, you're up 30 to 40%. Now, that might not sound exciting to someone looking for 5x in a month, but here's what that actually means. If you started with $10,000, you've now got $13,000, $14,000. Repeat that for 5 years, and you're potentially doubling or tripling your capital with low stress and no gambling. More importantly, you've built a skill set that can scale. You can increase your position size, manage more capital, even trade for others if you choose. That's real trading. That's real freedom. But most traders never get there. Why? Because they're addicted to the big win. They want excitement. They want dopamine. They want the high of a 200% day, even if it means risking it all to get there. Let's be honest, that mindset doesn't come from logic. It comes from ego and impatience. You want to prove yourself. You want to tell your friends, I made $1,000 in a day. You want to feel like you're doing something bold and different. But here's the harsh truth. Bold traders don't last. Boring ones do. You know why casinos always win? Because they follow a boring system with small, consistent edges over time. They don't care if one gambler wins big. The house always profits long term because the math is in their favor, and they stick to it. Lazy traders act the same way. They're not trying to predict every move. They're not chasing every breakout. They're not entering 20 trades a day with no clear plan. They're patiently waiting for high-probability setups, managing risk like a pro, and compounding small profits over time. It's not sexy, but it works. Let me tell you a story. There was a trader I met named Sarah. She was a single mom with 2 kids. She didn't have time to sit in front of charts all day, no fancy equipment, no flashy indicators. Just one simple swing trading strategy she learned from a mentor. She risked 1% per trade, took 2 to 3 trades a week, kept a strict journal, didn't chase anything. And you know what happened? She made around 2% a month after month. It was slow, steady, predictable. After 1 year, she had earned 24%. After 2 years, she had built enough trust in herself that she got a small pool of investor capital. Within 3 years, she was managing $100,000 and making a full-time income. With a calm mind and zero stress, she didn't trade to feel adrenaline. She traded to buy back her time. That's the lazy trader mindset. Trading is supposed to give you freedom, not take it away. But most people turn trading into a chaotic job. They're glued to screens. They're constantly anxious. They're emotionally drained. And worst of all, they have no system, just hope. That's not freedom. That's addiction. You see, real wealth isn't built on jackpots. It's built on compounding. Let's do some simple math. Let's say you grow your account just 1% per week. Doesn't sound like much, right? But if you do that consistently, week after week, without major losses, your account grows over 67% in 1 year. If you grow 2% per week, you're looking at over 180% per year. And if you do that while managing risk, well, you're not just growing money, you're building confidence, you're building proof, you're building a track record. That's what gets you long-term success, not one viral win. Lazy traders play the long game. They're not in a rush. They're in control. They understand the goal isn't to make the most money today. It's to stay in the game long enough to win over time. And ironically, that's how they end up making more money than anyone else. So if you're still caught in the get-rich-fast trap, this is your wake-up call. Start thinking like a boring trader. Ask yourself, can I take this same setup 100 times and be okay with the outcome? Can I risk small and accept small wins without chasing more? Can I be okay with making $50 a day instead of trying to make $500? Because here's the thing, once you master $50 a day, you can scale to $500. But if you chase $500 too early, you'll blow up and never get there. Boring builds the base. Then you scale from strength. Another key part of boring trading is having no attachment to single trades. You don't care whether this trade wins or loses. You care about the next 100 trades. That's how professional traders think. They don't get excited about a win or crushed by a loss. They just follow the system. Take the trade. Move on. It's mechanical. It's calm. It's effective. And guess what? It creates freedom because when your system is boring and repeatable, you don't have to micromanage. You can spend time with family, sleep peacefully, travel, read, create, live. Lazy traders value that more than screen time. They don't worship hustle. They worship systems. They know that success in trading comes not from working harder, but from removing emotion and increasing consistency. So how do you build a boring trading system? You keep it simple. One setup, one risk percentage, one routine. You repeat the process daily without trying to tweak it every time. You don't chase new indicators. You don't add 20 filters. You don't trade every market. You stick to your lane and do it well. That's where real confidence comes from. Not guessing, but knowing. Let me tell you one last thing. When I started trading, I thought I needed a million things. A fast computer, news feeds, gurus, expensive software. What I really needed was one thing, a calm mind and a clear plan. It took me years to figure that out. But once I embraced boring, everything changed. I made fewer trades, but better ones. I stressed less. I slept better. I made more money with less effort. That's the paradox of boring profits. They're not just profitable, they're peaceful. And in a world that constantly screams for attention, drama, and speed, peace is the new power. So if you take one thing away from this chapter, let it be this. Don't chase fireworks. Build a fireplace. Let your profits be small. Let your process be simple. Let your trading be boring. Because that's where real success lives. Not in excitement, but in mastery. Not in luck, but in system. Not in one big win, but in 1,000 boring, beautiful, consistent steps forward. That's what it means to be a lazy trader. Chapter 8. And that's what Build a lazy trading system. Create a plug-and-play system that trades so you don't have to. Trading doesn't have to be complicated. In fact, the most successful traders are often the ones who keep it simple. The lazy trader knows this well. The goal isn't to spend hours glued to screens, juggling dozens of indicators, or constantly tweaking strategies. The goal is to build a system so clear, so straightforward, that it practically trades itself, allowing you to live your life while your money quietly grows. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by trading, like there are too many moving parts or endless choices, this chapter is for you. Because the truth is, trading can be easy. It can be simple. It can fit your schedule, your capital, and your temperament. It just needs the right system, and that's exactly what you're going to learn to build here. Why you need a system in the first place. Imagine walking into a kitchen and cooking a meal without a recipe. You might succeed, but most likely, it's a mess of guesswork, frustration, and inconsistent results. The same is true for trading. Without a system, you're guessing. You're reacting emotionally. You're chasing the next hot tip or market rumor. But a system? A system is a recipe. It's a plan. It's a set of rules you follow, no matter what the market does or how you feel. A system removes guesswork and emotion. It creates discipline. More importantly, it lets you trade consistently. And consistency is the secret sauce of profitable trading. When you trade with a system, you're not gambling. You're not hoping or praying. You're executing a proven plan. That's the difference between a lucky trader and a professional trader. What makes a trading system lazy? The word lazy here might confuse you, because trading sounds hard, right? It's fast-paced, unpredictable, full of stress. But lazy trading isn't about slacking off. It's about smart work, not hard work. It's about building a system that works for you, fits your life, and requires minimal babysitting. A lazy trading system has some important qualities. It's simple. No complicated charts. No dozen indicators. No messy setups. It's rule-based. You know exactly when to enter, exit, and manage risk. It's back-tested, meaning it has proven itself over time and various market conditions. It's flexible. It fits your schedule, whether you trade 30 minutes a day or a few hours a week. It's scalable. It grows with your account and confidence. Most importantly, a lazy trading system lets you trade without feeling chained to your computer or trapped by stress. How to start building your lazy trading system. Building your system might sound like a big project, but it's easier than you think. Start by asking yourself a few simple questions. What markets do I want to trade? Stocks, Forex, crypto, futures. How much time can I realistically spend trading each day or week? What's my risk tolerance? How much am I willing to lose per trade? What kind of trader am I? Do I prefer fast trades or longer holds? Answering these honestly will help you tailor a system that fits your unique situation. For example, if you work a 9-to-5 job, trading, the stock market's opening minutes might not work, but swing trading on daily charts with a few minutes each evening could be perfect. If you have a small account, you'll want to manage risk tightly, maybe risking 1% or less per trade. Remember, the goal is not to copy someone else's complicated system. It's to design one that fits you. A simple sample. Lazy trading system to get you started. To make this less abstract, let's create a sample system you can plug in and start using. This system is designed for swing trading stocks or ETFs on daily charts. Perfect if you want to trade with minimal screen time. Here's the system. Entry. Buy when the 10-day simple moving average SMA crosses above the 30-day SMA exit. Sell when the 10-day SMA crosses back below the 30-day SMA. Risk management. Risk 1% of your trading capital per trade. Use a stop-loss set at 2% below your entry price. Position sizing. Calculate your position size so that if your stop-loss is hit, you only lose 1% of your account. Frequency. Check charts once daily, after the market closes. This system is simple, but powerful. It's based on trend following, a strategy used by professional traders for decades. The moving average crossover helps you identify when a stock is gaining momentum. By risking only 1% per trade and using a stop-loss, you protect your capital from big losses. Checking once a day means you don't have to watch the market all day. Perfect for the lazy trader lifestyle. Backtesting. Why it matters. Before you trade any system with real money, you want to know it has worked in the past. Backtesting means applying your rules to historical data and seeing how the system would have performed. Backtesting shows you how often the system signals trades, your win rate, average profit, and loss maximum drawdown, biggest losing streak. For our simple moving average crossover system, backtesting over 5 years on a popular ETF might show a win rate of 55%, an average gain of 2% per winning trade, and maximum drawdowns of 10%. These numbers tell you what to expect and help you prepare mentally. If you're not comfortable backtesting yourself, many trading platforms offer automated tools, or you can keep a detailed journal and track trades manually. Building your routine. Around your system, one of the biggest benefits of a lazy trading system is that it can fit around your life. Because the system is simple and rule-based, your daily routine might look like this. At the end of the trading day, spend 10 to 15 minutes checking your charts. Apply your system rules. Look for moving average crossovers. Identify entries and exits. Set your stop losses and position sizes accordingly. Place orders and then step away. No stress, no constant screen watching, no emotional roller coaster. This routine becomes a habit, a stress-free habit. And over time, that habit compounds into profits. Dealing with drawdowns without panic. No system wins 100% of the time. Drawdowns, periods, when your account shrinks, are inevitable. The difference between a lazy trader and a gambler is how they handle drawdowns. Because you have rules, you know your maximum risk. Because you risk only a small percent per trade, you survive losing streaks without panic. This mindset allows you to stay calm and stick to your plan instead of chasing losses or abandoning your system. When drawdowns happen, remind yourself, this is normal. It's part of trading. Your system is still working. Your edge is still there. Adjusting your system over time. Lazy trading doesn't mean set it and forget it forever. Markets change, conditions shift. What worked 5 years ago might not work as well today. But the key is small, thoughtful adjustments, not constant tinkering. Track your trades in a journal or spreadsheet. Review performance every 3 to 6 months. If you find your win rate dropping or losses increasing, it's time to review your system. Maybe your stop loss needs adjusting. Maybe you need to change markets, but only make changes based on data, not emotion. This keeps your system lean, effective, and lazy. The power of automation. Once you're comfortable with your system, consider automating parts of it. Many brokers, And platforms allow you to set automatic entry and exit orders based on your rules. Automation helps remove emotion even further. It ensures your trades happen even if you're busy, traveling, or simply want to unplug. Automation truly makes trading lazy. It lets your system work for you. 24/7. Final thoughts. Your system, your freedom. Building a lazy trading system isn't about magic or luck. It's about designing a plan that fits your life, your goals, and your personality. It's about respecting the markets by trading with discipline and consistency. It's about giving yourself the freedom to live fully while your system quietly works in the background. Trading doesn't have to be a full-time job or a stress marathon. You can build a system that's simple, effective, and, most importantly, lazy. Because when your system trades so you don't have to, you win. Your time, your peace, your freedom, those are the real profits. And now, you have the blueprint to build it. Go ahead. Start simple. Start lazy. Trade smart. Trade easy. When not to trade. The secret skill that separates pros from gamblers. Every trader dreams of that perfect moment. The trade that brings big profits with minimal effort. But here's a little secret that's rarely talked about. Sometimes, the best trade you make is no trade at all. If you want to be a truly successful trader, especially a lazy trader who values simplicity and calm, you must master the art of knowing when not to trade. Because not trading is, in fact, a powerful trading decision. The lazy trader understands this deeply. It's not about chasing every opportunity or jumping into every signal you see. It's about patience, discipline, and protecting your capital and peace of mind. This chapter is going to teach you why sitting out can be your greatest edge, how to recognize those moments, and how doing nothing is sometimes your smartest move. Why knowing when not to trade matters. Imagine you're at a casino. Would you bet on every single spin or hand? Of course not. You'd wait for the odds to be in your favor, or simply walk away if the table looks bad. Trading is no different. Many beginners, and even some experienced traders, fall into the trap of feeling like they have to be in the market all the time. They chase every signal, hop onto every hype train, or try to make up losses by increasing trade frequency. This is the path to exhaustion, stress, and ultimately losses. Successful traders understand that the market is always there tomorrow. You don't have to force trades. In fact, forcing trades is the fastest way to lose. Trading when conditions are bad, when your mind isn't clear, or when your system says no, can wipe out months or years of progress in a heartbeat. When you learn to say no trade with confidence, you protect your capital and your mental health. The mindset shift, not trading, is a skill. Most people think that trading means buying or selling all the time. But trading also means waiting. Waiting for the right setups. Waiting for the right market, conditions. Waiting for your own mind to be clear and focused. Not trading takes patience, self-control, and courage. It's easy to get caught up in the hype, peer pressure, or the fear of missing out, FOMO. But the lazy trader knows better. They know that sitting on the sidelines is not weakness. It's strength. It's discipline, and it's often the best way to protect yourself from unnecessary losses. When to say no trade, recognizing low-quality setups. The first reason to avoid trading is simple. No good setup exists. Your system might be built to catch specific signals, say a moving average crossover or a certain price pattern. If those signals aren't there, it means the market isn't aligned with your edge. Trying to force a trade when your rules don't give a green light is like trying to drive a car without gas. It just won't go anywhere. This is where many traders fail. They see the price moving, and think, "Well, I need to do something." But the best move is often to do nothing. Be patient. Wait for your system to tell you it's time. Your capital is precious. Don't risk it on random guesses or wishful thinking. This patience separates winners from losers. Avoid trading during low volume or uncertain market conditions. Another time to avoid trading is when the market lacks liquidity or volume. Low volume, days, holidays, or times when big players aren't active, often mean erratic price movements and false signals. Imagine trying to catch a wave when the ocean is flat. It's just not worth it. Many lazy traders avoid trading right before big news releases or during weekends because the risk of sudden, unpredictable moves is too high. Understanding your market's rhythm helps you stay out when conditions are poor. Over time, you'll learn to recognize the days when it's better to watch than to trade. Managing your emotions. Don't trade. When you're not mentally red-eyed, trading is as much psychological as it is technical. If you're tired, angry, stressed, or distracted, your decisions will suffer. Making trades when your mind is foggy or emotional leads to impulsive moves and mistakes. The lazy trader respects their mental state. They know that a clear, calm mind is the best tool for trading. So if you're feeling overwhelmed or anxious, take a break. Walk away from your screens. Do something to reset your mind. Go for a walk, meditate, or simply rest. When you return fresh and focused, your trading will improve dramatically. How to build no-trade rules into your system. If you want to be a lazy trader, you need to build no-trade conditions into your plan. It's not enough to have entry and exit rules. You also need to define when you don't trade. This could include rules like don't trade during low-volume days or holidays. Don't trade if your system's conditions aren't met exactly. Don't trade when a major news event is about to happen. Don't trade if you're emotionally unsettled. Having these rules written down helps you avoid emotional decisions. It creates structure and discipline. It makes no trade a conscious, powerful choice instead of a hesitation or fear. The power of taking breaks. Resetting your trading mindset. Sometimes the best no-trade decision is a longer break. Maybe you had a losing streak. Maybe you're feeling burned out or doubting your system. Taking time off to step back and reset your mindset can save you from costly mistakes. Many professional traders take regular breaks between trading cycles. They use that time to review their journals, improve their skills, and recharge. If you feel frustrated or tired, don't be afraid to take a day, a week, or even longer off. Trading is a marathon, not a sprint. FOMO. The biggest enemy of lazy traders. Fear of missing out is one of the biggest challenges traders face. When you see a big move happening and you're not in, it's tempting to jump in last minute, but this usually leads to buying at the top or entering without proper setup. The lazy trader fights FOMO by trusting their system and waiting patiently for the next opportunity. Remember, there will always be another trade. Chasing after the market destroys discipline. Real-life stories, when not trading, saved the day. There are countless stories of traders who saved themselves by sitting out. One trader I know was tempted to trade right before a major Fed announcement. His gut told him to stay out, and he did. While he rested, the market moved wildly, triggering stops everywhere. When he returned, his account was intact, while many others lost big. Another lazy trader stuck to her system and refused to trade when she was feeling emotionally off. That day, the market went crazy in unpredictable ways. She avoided losses because she respected her mental state. These stories show that not trading is not missing out. It's protecting what matters most. Embrace no trade as part of your trading lifestyle. To be a successful lazy trader, you need to embrace the idea that sometimes the best trade is no trade. It's part of respecting the markets, respecting your capital, and respecting yourself. When you accept this, trading becomes less stressful and more enjoyable. It becomes a tool for freedom, not anxiety. You trade when conditions are right. You sit out when they're not. This balance will keep you in the game long term. Final thoughts. The lazy trader's greatest edge. The skill of knowing when not to trade is what separates the pros from the gamblers. It requires discipline, patience, and respect for the market. It protects your capital and sanity, and it gives you the freedom to trade on your terms. The lazy trader doesn't feel pressure to be active all the time. They wait, they watch, they trade only when it makes sense. This approach will save you money, time, and stress. So the next time you feel the urge to jump in without a clear reason, pause. Ask yourself, is this the right moment? Or is the best trade no trade? Master this question, and you'll master the Freedom Blueprint. Turn trading into a lifestyle, not a prison. When you first think about trading, you might imagine fast-paced screens, constant decision-making, and endless pressure to keep up. That image scares a lot of people away. They picture trading as a prison, trapped in front of their computer, anxious about every tick in the market, feeling like their life depends on every trade. But here's the truth that lazy traders embrace. Trading doesn't have to be that way. In fact, the whole point of lazy trading is to design a lifestyle that gives you freedom. Not just financial freedom, but freedom in your mind, your emotions, and your time. This final chapter is about building your personal freedom blueprint, creating a trading life that works for you, supports your goals, and lets you live fully, outside the charts. Because lazy trading is not about being lazy. It's about being smart, intentional, and free. Freedom is the ultimate goal. Think about why you wanted to trade in the first place. Most people start because they want more freedom. Freedom to work from anywhere. Freedom to control their time. Freedom from a boss or a 9-to-5 grind. Freedom to spend time with family and friends. Freedom to travel or just relax without worrying about money. If your trading life feels like a burden or prison, then you've lost sight of the goal. Trading should serve your life, not consume it. Lazy trading is all about designing your trading style around freedom. It's about working smarter, not harder. About using rules, routines, and habits to create space. Not fill every moment with noise and stress. The Freedom Blueprint is your personal plan for this life. Financial freedom is only the start. When most people hear freedom, they think financial freedom. Having enough money to pay bills, buy what they want, and not worry about income. That's important, no doubt. But money alone is not enough. You can be rich and still feel trapped by your trading routine, stressed by the markets, anxious about losses, overwhelmed by too many trades or hours staring at screens. True freedom includes mental and emotional peace. The lazy trader values this just as much as money. You want to feel calm, confident, and in control. You want your trading to enhance your life, not take it over. This mindset change is key to building a sustainable trading career. Time. Freedom. Trading on your terms. One of the biggest benefits of lazy trading is time. Freedom. Instead of being glued to your screens all day, you can design a schedule that fits your life. Maybe you trade just a few hours a day, or even a few days a week. Maybe you focus on setups that take less time to analyze. Maybe you automate parts of your trading or use alerts to reduce screen time. The point is, trading becomes a tool that works for you, not a task you have to slave over. When you free your time, you have more energy for the things you love. Family, hobbies, health, or learning new skills. You create balance instead of burnout. Emotional freedom. Master your mind trading will test your emotions. Fear, greed, frustration, and doubt can all sabotage your success if you let them. Lazy traders learn to manage these emotions so they don't control their decisions. Emotional freedom means having the confidence to stick to your plan, even when the market gets wild. It means accepting losses as part of the game, without panic. It means being able to walk away when you need a break, without guilt. This freedom comes from building strong habits and routines, keeping a trading journal, and practicing self-awareness. When your emotions are in check, your trading becomes smoother, less stressful, and more profitable. Designing your daily routine for freedom. How you organize your day has a huge impact on your freedom. Lazy traders build routines that make trading easy and efficient. For example, instead of checking the market every minute, you might review key levels once in the morning and once before close. You prepare your trades ahead of time and stick to your plan. You schedule breaks and downtime to reset your mind. You avoid distractions and create a calm workspace. These small habits add up to a lifestyle where trading fits around your life, not the other way around. Build systems, not hustle. Many traders believe success comes from hustling, doing more trades, more research, more hours. Lazy traders know better. They build systems that work automatically or with minimal effort. These systems include clear entry and exit, rules, risk management, and predefined no-trade conditions. Systems remove guesswork and emotional overload. They allow you to trade with confidence and consistency. The more you trust your system, the less you have to stress over each trade. That's freedom. Outsource and automate. You don't have to do everything yourself. Part of the freedom blueprint is learning to outsource or automate parts of your trading life. Maybe you use trading, bots, or alerts to watch for setups. Maybe you hire a coach or join a community to share ideas and support. Maybe you use software to track your trades and analyze your performance. Technology and teamwork can save you time and mental energy. They let you focus on what you do best. Money management for freedom. One of the biggest killers of trading. Freedom is risking too much. If every trade can wipe out your account, you'll live in fear and stress. Lazy traders know that protecting capital is the foundation of freedom. They use smart position sizing, stop losses, and diversification to manage risk. When you protect your capital, you protect your freedom too. Keep trading another day. You trade without fear because you know your losses are controlled. Freedom to learn and grow. Trading is a journey, not a destination. Lazy traders see every trade as a lesson. They embrace growth and learning as part of their freedom. They keep journals, review mistakes, and constantly improve. This mindset keeps trading fresh and exciting, not stale or frustrating. Don't need to be perfect, just better than yesterday. This mindset frees you from the pressure to be right all the time. Freedom means saying, no part of your blueprint is learning to say no to trades, distractions, bad advice, or your own impulses. Saying no is a powerful act of freedom. It means you control your trading, not the other way around. You trade your way on your terms. This discipline is the hallmark of lazy traders. Living the lazy trader life. At the end of the day, lazy trading is about designing a life you don't want to escape from. It's about trading in a way that supports your values, your family, and your dreams. It's about turning trading into a tool that helps you live fully, not a task that drains you. When you master the freedom blueprint, you have more than money. You have peace, balance, and happiness. You've turned trading into a lifestyle, not a prison. Lazy trading is your pathway to freedom, Not just the freedom to make money, but the freedom to live your life fully, on your terms. This chapter isn't just a conclusion. It's your invitation to design your trading life, to build your blueprint for freedom, to trade less, live more, and be truly free. If you want to go deeper, remember that the journey doesn't stop here. Every day, choose freedom, trade smart, trade lazy, live free,